gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite. Of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais. Quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second. Chase the glory. Visez haut.
Sports on CBC, les championnats U-Sport, brought to you in part by, vous êtes présenté par Nike Team Just Do It, faites-le. Baron, exclusive supplier of U-Sports championship rings. Le fournisseur exclusif des bagues de championnat U-Sport. Fox 40 celebrating a decade of the Fox 40 U-Sports Coach of the Year program. Fier partenaire des prix de l'entraîneur de l'année U-Sport depuis 10 ans. By Veriburn, proud medical supplier to university sports since 1979. Fier partenaire du sport universitaire depuis 1979. The Government of Canada. Le gouvernement du Canada. And by Saint-Hubert, proud partners of the U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship. Et par Saint-Hubert, fier partenaire du championnat de hockey féminin U-Sport.
Welcome to Semifinal Saturday, now on the championship bracket side at the 2023 U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship. Live from Montreal, I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole, and we are getting set once again for the championship bracket. Number 8 seed Mount Royal University Cougars opening up this 11-game tournament with the first win toppling the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues 3-2 to get here. And then the Montreal Caravan, they were the lower seed, but still coming in middle of the pack, basically 5, the 5th seed. And they toppled the UNB Reds, the AUS champs, for their spot here in the semifinal. Alex, this is going to be electric. The crowd's already fired up. I thought for a moment the loudest side, of course, being the hometown Caravan, but MRU Cougars from Calgary, Alberta, their fans also traveling very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the Cougars, they have every reason to be excited right now. An 8th seed as we look at the bracket, an 8th seed going basically to the semifinal, and no matter what, they're going to play for a medal here as they play against the home team. And you know, the Cagabay, they were a 5th seed, they were the lower seed against UNB, but when you talk about the RSEQ, I mean, what a division that is. You have multiple teams that could feasibly you know, win a national title. So you know, for the Cougars, it's going to be a huge test, but they beat the OUA champs, so if they can beat Toronto, they can certainly beat Montreal, you know, any given Sunday, or today, any given Saturday.
I will take that semifinal Saturday as it is. And one thing as well to note is that the Caravan earned their way here. That's what head coach Isabelle Leclerc was telling me before this tournament, that she was so proud of her team. It was a goal they set for themselves. They wanted, of course, to be the RSEQ champs, but at the very least to earn that spot. You get the berth into it no matter what as the host, but to feel like you deserve to be here, which they certainly do. Something else to note, this is the first U-Sports Women's Hockey Championship semifinal for the Cougars, despite them making it to this round by their way in their first national appearance, Alex. That's because it was in 2020. So there, they also defeated the Varsity Blues in the quarterfinal round to make it to this. But of course, as fans of this fantastic sport in U-Sports know, that 2020 event was canceled day 2. They never got to see the semifinals. So this has got to feel good. I chatted with head coach Scott Rivet before, and he said, you know, there is that feeling of redemption, just knowing like, okay, now we can finally test ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, for the Cougars, it's a team that has gone very far this season. They've had a phenomenal year, and you know, they've only been in a youth sports competition, Canada West competition, since 2012, 2013. And you know, to be able to build up your program in that 100%. Amount of time is extremely impressive. It's their 10th season in the Canada West, and you know they're always contenders there.
We're going to head to a quick break, but as we do so, the hometown hosts, the Montreal Canadiens, in their home whites, the official higher seed. We'll be back with more here from the first championship semifinal. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
They don't do it for the likes or for the shares. They do it for the fun of it, for the thrill, for the camaraderie, for the memories. CBC Sports, just because they love it.
And welcome back to the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship from Montreal, the hometown Canadiens, the hosts, who earned their way into the competition, into the tournament, not only getting that berth, but actually becoming the RSEQ finalists. Well, they're here for the very first championship bracket semi-final, and it'll be an exciting one at that. Both of these two teams fell short of making the conference championships, but now will play for a medal, depending what color, at the end of this game today. We're now getting set for the national anthem, which will take place right now. And with that, we're getting set for this juicy championship semifinal. The crowd has been waiting. You can feel the anticipation. Alex Cole, Daniela Ponticelli here with you. Thanks for joining us. Alex, let's just tee up the Carabin. And right now, who we're going to see in net?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, they're going to go with Aubracin, who has been a large part of this team for many years, has not won obviously championship medals, has a bronze with this team, but has never won gold and is trying to win that now. We're also going to look at the goaltender Caitlin Ross for the Cougars, who has played 22 games this season, only allowed 32 goals, 1.42 goals against average, 93.1% save percentage, has just been phenomenal this season, has really carried them through the playoffs.
So Ross made 22 saves in the team's 3-2 win over the Toronto Varsity Blues to get here in the quarterfinal. Meanwhile, Aubracin making 13 saves, allowing just one shorthanded goal against in that quarterfinal matchup against the higher seed UNB Reds. Against both of these two teams getting upset wins in the quarterfinals to bring them to this moment right here. The two captains meeting in the middle, and it'll be MRU's Tatum Amy who gets the face-off win. A lot on the line. Again, a chance to win and move on into the gold medal game tomorrow night. But there's still plenty of hockey to go and a story to unfold here on the ice as the Carabin set up first with a chance. Bringing in deep. Amy will bat that puck away over to the other side. Amy leading the Canada West in a number of ways. Courtney Coleman, though, opening scoring for MRU in the second period. She actually got the opening goal of the entire 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship as MRU played first on Thursday afternoon. Now Poirier-Lau finding the boards there. Carabin teeing up here, looking for that shot. Gets stopped, but now in the slot, still plenty of traffic. The Cougars come out. Both teams in blue, but it's the darker squad, the Cougars, who are the visitors as the lower seed, number 8 ranked. And now Jory Hansen-Young tries to fire one off. She managed to get a goal as well in that first game against Toronto. It was the third goal for them, the game winner, in fact. Jory Hansen-Young now putting on the speed. Trying to get by Etier. Boulanger will change course. Try to get going for the Carabin.
Yeah, as now the puck comes down the ice. And, you know, the Carabin had a solid start here, but the Cougars as well, just doing a good job through the neutral zone. Weren't able to get any shots on Aubracin, but so far a good start from both teams, showing a lot of speed and open ice.
And, of course, we talked about the Cougars. It's just their second national championship appearance. Their first one being slowed down by the pandemic, but here's Aaliyah Joma getting in close. She's hard to slow down. Cameron Amundsen providing some support behind the goal line, one of the graduating players, one of 8 for the Cougars. And what a finish to the season they're having here in that final year of U Sports Women's Hockey. Some of those players still have some eligibility left because of the COVID-19 pandemic, so you never know where you might see these players again, but for now, they are ready to say goodbye to a program that has certainly seen growth on the Canada West side, finishing first last season in the conference, but then stopped in the semifinal round before even getting to the final. And then this year, taking on the UBC Thunderbirds in Vancouver. Mackenzie Butts teeing up, and Aubracin proves her strength early on.
Yeah, Aubracin getting the first shot of the game, and as somebody who covers the RSEQ quite frequently, we know just how great Aubracin can be. She's a goaltender who takes up a lot of the net, is able to knows her stance well, is able to get down quickly, and obviously comes out to the top of the crease. So the Cougars, they're gonna have to work very hard to get a goal against her.
Yeah, that one goal that was let in their 4-1 victory over the UNB Reds came shorthanded. It was just an excellent rush by Lillian George for that to spoil the perfect night. And so far, every game has seen both sides get on the board. We'll see what happens here in this first championship semifinal. The Cougars collecting themselves. Of course, they did not get a chance to play in the semifinal that they did earn a place in 2020. The Carabins were also at that tournament. They also played a Game 1 quarterfinal, so they were one of the 4 teams that played before the cancellation, and they were relegated into the consolation bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, for the Carabins, they just want to have a great tournament, right? They want to showcase why they belong here. Typically, when you see a team that's the host, they're the 8th seed, because a lot of times the host just gets in because they're the host. But the Carabins, it's a lot different this time around.
And now Athena Hawk trying to set up for a shot. Hawk as well with some success in that first game, assisting in Hanson Young's goal. And now the Carabins putting on the speed. Driving the action down deep, Girard. And McNinch, she's also collected a helper already in this Nationals Championship. As Laura Cook, another graduating player for the Cougars, tries to get by the Carabins. Get going, and the crowd is behind them. They have the home crowd support, but it'll be an offside call.
Yeah, you know, for the Carabins, it seems like the Cougars are kind of swarming them up a little bit here and sort of taking the game to the Carabins. It's been very impressive to watch. You know, for Montreal, they haven't seen any teams from out west this season, so it's going to be hard for them to adjust to the play style.
And now Audriane Veillette, of course, the leading scorer for Montreal. She was unable to get a goal in the quarterfinal, but she did assist. Of course, a tremendous player out on the ice for the Carabins. Now in front of the Cougars bench, Mackenzie Butts will come through with it, another graduating player this season. She'll dump it down deep. The Carabins getting set up, trying to work their system. They know this ice better than anyone in this competition. And Pelletier, let's go send it down deep. As the crowd begins to get going here, Kali Kunek also out on the ice, one to watch. Not only scored a goal, but added 2 helpers in Montreal's quarterfinal win. And Pelletier getting her skate on it. As Lefebvre, another one to watch. She was able to get 2 goals. And here come the Carabins. Working it, getting close to Ross, and it's off the shoulder. The Cougars crowd loves it. It's a loud barn here in Montreal. Of course, the home crowd for the Carabins, but also not to be outdone, Canada West contingent here supporting the Cougars. Courtney Cole, or rather Laura Cook, digging it out. As the puck goes close to Aubracin. And the Cougars now with the chance. Getting in close, McNinch. But that was a bit of a soft backhand, I guess, just hoping to touch it in.
Yeah, not much space there, and then a sort of a weak backhander, and Aubracin was obviously going to be ready for that one. A good job by the Carabins defenders to sort of force the issue and move that puck more so towards the outside. But as I was saying, it's really been the Cougars showcasing their presence on the ice in this game so far. They're doing a phenomenal job against the Carabins, who many would figure are a huge, you know, they would be the favorites in this game.
And right now, I mean, they do have the upper hand with the seeding. We'll see, though, what that means out on the ice. It's all one-game play here. The victor moving on to the gold medal game. Defeated opponent off to fight for bronze. And Brianne Trotter, who scored that game winner for the Cougars. Technically an academic 5th year, will stay on for the 6th to complete her U Sports eligibility. And here we go, Veillette. No, she's going to dump it down and change. I think the crowd was hoping they'd see something from Veillette there. Now Athena Hawk carrying it over the lines for the Cougars, looking for that feed to Madison Wiebe. And so the Carabin will settle it down, taking it out from their own end. Slow and steady here. A change of pace from the last game we just saw, which ended 7-3 in the consolation bracket for the St. FX X-Women. And now getting in close, the Cougars. Metzger to Williams, over to Hanson Young. And Carabin go chasing it down with Morgan Ramsey aggressively. Emma Bergeson looking for that space. It's blocked well by the Carabin. And another save for Aube Racine.
Yeah, and just an easy call there by Racine to just glove it down and hold on to it. But once again, the Carabin, they're really struggling to get out of their zone.
Canada's best university men's volleyball teams head to Hamilton for the 2023 U Sports Men's Volleyball Championship presented by Mikasa. The consolation round exclusive to CBC Sports YouTube channel, while championship semifinals are on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and the CBC Sports YouTube channel. The Carabin had a bit of a stalemate trying to defend their zone to the blocker side of Aube Racine. And now Montreal comes back the other way. Poiré-Lehoux sending it down deep. Here comes Captain Tatum Amy. As they get set up once again. And that would have been a good connection had it been made there. Poiré-Lehoux trying to find some space as Justine Pelletier as well out on the ice. And two bodies collide on the boards. It's all incidental as the Cougars come away with it. Now Hawk trying to fight off the bad intentions of Lauriane Etier. Two tough teams out on the ice right now. Two teams who've never met before as well. Athena Hawk looking for that centering feed. It bounces off the bodies. In fact, catches the pad of Racine. Here rims around, and here come the Carabin, feeling the energy from the crowd. Aubriane Veillette unable to get going. Lafave trying to intercept there off the bench, but Sydney Benko now will chip it down for the Cougars as they get fresh legs on the ice. Moving quick in transition as the Carabin set up just as fast. Lafave to Pelletier. And a great save by Caitlin Ross, who hasn't faced too many shots so far, but they're so powerful, Alex.
Yeah, and that was the second shot of the game for the Carabin. I was just going to say that the Carabin were struggling to find players in open ice, but there they were finally able to get an opportunity on net.
And now in the Montreal zone, as Brianne Dando, who also collected an assist in that quarterfinal. It'll be an icing call there just to slow down the tempo here. We hear the drums on the Carabin side and the cowbells over on the Cougar side.
Yeah, and the Cougars have just done a phenomenal job in these first 10.5 minutes. They're really beating the Carabin at their own game, which is clogging up the neutral zone and giving their opponent absolutely no space to maneuver. It really feels like the Cougars are one of the strongest 8 seeds I've ever seen.
And right in front of the net, and Racine covers it up. We are in for a goaltending battle if this continues, and really great insight provided by Alex Cole there. Alex, to think that because these teams have never met, it has all been video study and maybe getting a chance to look at how each other played in the contest. But when you consider they both played day one, it is all about the video and what you can feed from that. And so Thériault will take the face-off for the Carabin. And it will remain on the Montreal side, if only for a moment. The Cougars' Joma as well, just another standout player. 3 points in the playoffs. Tatum Amy, their captain, will be graduating this year. finding her way, weaving, getting back and forth. As Jean Picard, who also collected an assist in Montreal's quarterfinal. She's out on the ice. For Montreal, it's about playing to their standard. Now Brianne Trotter looking for that little feed, nearly getting it. Kiana McNinch trying to keep it in. Racine looking over her stick side shoulder. Over on the Cougars side of the ice as the minutes wind down. A period so far with few stoppages. As the teams find their momentum here. Laura Cook coming up on Audriane Veillette. And Chloé Ducheneau as well out on the ice for the Carabins. Trotter getting it through the legs of Veillette. Now getting caught up on Etier. Etier, a rookie player for Montreal, but her name has been said so many times. She's been so effective for Montreal. Here comes Pelletier, or at least trying to, as Ava Metzger will hand it over to Weeb, and she fires it. That one goes up high. Or rather, that's Kaya Borbandi, my apologies, Kaya Borbandi. Her younger sister also playing on the team. Just not out here today. And Sydney Benko comes flying out on the ice. Another great save for Montreal. So far, shots on goal favoring the Mount Royal Cougars 8-2.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's one of those situations where Racine, a lot of these shots are coming from the outside, which are the easiest shots to stop. If Racine can see them, 99% sure she's going to be able to stop it, and that's what we're seeing. And, you know, that could become a problem for the Cougars, who are basically allowing Racine to get herself into this.
It'll be an icing call. That's what Caitlin Ross is showing up there. Now, very quickly, Alex, we kind of discussed it. The outcome of this game, it could determine, of course, could we see an all-RSEQ final, or could we see an all-Canada West final? That has never been done. An all-RSEQ final did happen in 2014 when McGill got a double overtime win over Montreal. And just as quickly, fired from the point by Emma Bergeson, is covered up by Aube Racine. And again, a host team as well as only won the championship once before, and it was in the very first iteration of this event when the Concordia Stingers hosted the '98 Women's Hockey Championship.
Yeah, and there were some legends on that team, and it eventually led to the Stingers winning about 6 or 7 championships in a row.
And the Cougars setting up Emma, was looking for that little tilted nose, which was a nice angle pass to Joma. Back now, Mount Royal feeling some momentum as they maintain pressure here in the Montreal zone. But here come the Carabins, and the crowd is swelling with them. It's slow and steady to start. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in the third period. 6 to go here in the opening frame. We'll have a call there to bring it into the neutral zone. It'll be Lindsay James taking that faceoff for the Cougars and winning it, although not quite cleanly, as Montreal comes sailing through. And Etier again bringing that pressure. The one-on-one coverage we're seeing here, Alex, has just been phenomenal, and keeping pace with one another. Big shot saved by Racine yet again, who seems to be warming up now between the pipes quite well, whereas Caitlin Ross has been standing steady, facing 2 shots. Here comes a third potentially, getting in close, and that just skims by, looking for that feed to Veillette. Fontaine driving the action exactly how you're supposed to. The Carabin look for some space. Gervais off the backboards. As they get in close. And a big shot will have a first penalty of the game.
Yeah,
and it will go against Brianne Trotter of the Cougars.
Yeah, and it looks like that'll be a body checking penalty. And when you look at Montreal, they were 3 for 3 on the power play yesterday against the UNB Reds. And then just overall, their power play percentage 6th in all of U Sports at 22.1%. The Cougars, though, on the penalty kill 16th, so middle of the pack at 88%.
And they did go 2 for 2. They only had to defend shorthanded twice in their quarterfinal. So this will be a big test for their penalty killing unit. Especially in this tournament, different feel to it, playing a very different team, and they're being outworked right now by the Carabin. Tatum Amy gets switched off quick, and here comes Metzger out off the bench, now shorthanded. She'll make them work for it, at least use up some of the clock, and we find ourselves in the Carabin side while they have the player advantage on the far side. And the ice stretched here as Montreal sets up. They're the ones on the power play. Looking to get on the board, Dando. Moving the puck away, or Cardin rather. And Kali Kunek, who has been tremendous for Montreal, unable to keep control there. And that's a rare thing to say. We're talking about Kunek. Montreal did put together 3 power play goals in their win. Here comes Kunek, she shoots, and Ross with a quick save. Again, tested, Kunek fires one. What a rocket. Touches the backboard, 25 seconds to go here. Fontaine looking for some space, now creating it. Switching it up, Kunek again. Kunek down, high slot. Fontaine lets it rip, and it touches backboard as well. Final 10 seconds to go. Trotter standing up in the penalty box as the Cougars continue their kill, the first of the night, and there comes Trotter right off the bench and into the play. As we wind down the final 3 minutes of this opening frame. A first chance for Montreal, again effective 3 times on their 3 power plays in the quarterfinal to give them that 4-1 win over the UNB Reds. Their special teams just going clicking. Mackenzie Butts looking for McNinch. Getting caught up on Boulanger, the captain of the Carabin. And the puck now sliding into Cougars territory. Alexandria Spence going to clear it. Down deep to Coleman. And a tight game here. Thériault looking for a pass to Pelche. Down the slot. Joma collects it. And the Cougars just as quickly come up the other way. Aube Racine to just slow down the action.
Yeah, and that was a solid power play from the Carabin. They had a lot of opportunities, but Caitlin Ross making some huge saves with the pad. And you know, Ross hadn't seen a ton of action throughout the period, so to be able to kill off that penalty the way that she did, very impressive and a very good sign for the Cougars as this game progresses.
1:54 to go here. We're in the Montreal zone, and Coleman with the puck now. She gets checked. Poke checked out as the puck is freed, and again, a physical game as expected between these two elite teams. Tatum Amy trying to get one by Poiré-Larue. Can't do it, actually. Thériault instead applying that pressure. And now Bergeson. Over to Borbandi. Looking for Joma. Carabin watching the clock here. Winding it down. It's fired deep for a quick change as we approach the final minute of the first period. Now Emma Bergeson over on the left side. And the Carabin fans now bringing the noise, looking for room, and it goes wide. Connect again out on the ice. Seeing lots of minutes tonight. Fontaine unable to keep it along the line. Gervais now looking for a pass. Lafave also getting her stick on it for the Carabin. Cougars come away with it. Now Mount Royal with a quick speed change by Spence. Try to shrug off that defense. And Mackenzie Kordick setting up behind. And she slips. No, it won't be a slip. In fact, it will be a tripping call. We saw the trouble tripping calls gave to a number of players, and it's Gervais going to the box.
Yeah, and you know, for Mount Royal, this is going to be huge, obviously. You know, their power play percentage, middle of the pack, 15.7%. And then the penalty kill percentage for Montreal. You know, this plays into Mount Royal's hand here. Not very good, 84.5%, 23rd in all of U Sports.
Yeah, we'll see if the Cougars can capitalize. They went 0 for 4 on the power play in their quarterfinal. Again, here on the national stage, final seconds winding down. And we're going into the second period in a scoreless tie, Alex, which is actually exactly how the Cougars fared in their quarterfinal. They were able to keep the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues scoreless, and then out in the second came Courtney Coleman to open up scoring in that 3-2 game. It ended in regulation, but Montreal certainly came out strong, and in the way that they approached their game, they scored all 4 of their goals before UNB was able to touch twine. So what do you make of this? Here's the breakdown on screen.
Yeah, and you look at the shots, 11-5 for Mount Royal, and I think Montreal, this is something we've seen from them throughout the season. They allow their opponents to get more shots on goal, and they're just more selective with their shots, and they're able to kind of surprise the opposing goalie. In terms of power play so far, Mount Royal, they're still on their first power play, so that could change.
Could certainly change, yeah.
And then face-offs, Mount Royal dominating in that as well, so just overall solid showing.
And looks like we'll head down ringside to Emma Bergeson.
We're joined now by Emma Bergeson. You've had quite the year. Emma, you go down and compete for your country at the IIHF Division I Championship. You come back with the top defenseman of the tournament, and then you come to Alberta, and you have the most points in Canada West for a D. What's the secret to the success the last year?
Honestly, I would just give it all to my team and the coaching staff and everyone for pushing so hard every single day, and we're all working towards the same goal, and it's been a blast.
Spoken like a true leader, Emma, and you've got a tough task. You guys are the underdogs this tournament. You're placed 8th, but I just don't think that's a fair placement for your crew. You battled UBC right till the end, and you've got a tough task today with a really large crowd. What was the strategy yesterday in getting ready for today's game?
Honestly, just keep pushing like we always do, and we're in this together, and everyone just believing in the same thing, and yeah, sticking up for each other and playing as a team.
Emma, what are you seeing on the ice that could maybe get the first goal for your crew today?
I think we're doing very well at pushing it to the goalie and getting a lot of shots, but we need to get in there and just grind one out, I think.
A little bit more possession time, eh?
Yeah.
All right, Emma, congratulations on your success in 2022 and 2023, and we look forward to watching you in the future.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thanks.
Emma Bergeson, third year, as Isabelle Germain alluded to, played for Norway, and her growth as a defenseman has just been stellar. Came into this Cougars program kind of middle of the pack and is now, of course, elevated to this top defenseman, and same with that national team with Norway. So incredible effort so far from both sides, but it's a scoreless tie to take us through the first 20. We'll be back with more. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole, and you're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC.
Get the stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Welcome back. Every year, U Sports presents a series of major honors to the top student athletes in each sport. Here are the nominees and the winner of the 2023 U Sports Hockey Community Service Award.
The nominees for the Marion Hillard Award to the student who excels in hockey, academics, and community involvement are les candidates pour le prix Marion Hillard pour l'excellence dans le hockey, les études et l'engagement communautaire sont des sports universitaires de l'Atlantique from the AUS, Ève Leblanc, Université St. Mary's University. Du réseau du sport étudiant du Québec from the RSEQ, Christina Coliza, Université McGill University. Du sport universitaire de l'Ontario from the OUA, Olivia Giardetti, l'Université Toronto Métropolitain, Toronto Metropolitan University. Et de l'Association Ouest Canadienne from Canada West, Tatum Amy, l'Université Mount Royal University. La lauréate du prix Marion Hillard pour l'engagement communautaire est, the winner of the Marion Hillard Award for Community Service is, Ève Leblanc, l'Université St. Mary's University.
And we are scoreless through the first 20 minutes of this first championship semifinal. Mount Royal University Cougars, the number 8 seed who toppled the top seed Toronto. And then the Montreal Carabins, the 5th seed hosts, who took on and outperformed the 4th seed UNB Reds to find themselves in this position. We'll be back with more. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole, and you're watching U Sports on CBC.
Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
Welcome back, fans. You too can celebrate each U Sports team's gold medal victory with your very own commemorative apparel from T-Litson Sports. Fans of basketball's Carleton Ravens and Guelph Griffins in track have been flocking to shop.usports.ca to purchase their piece of history. Well, on Monday, folks, the championship collection from this championship weekend will be available for purchase. But hurry, supplies will go fast on this limited time offer. That's the U Sports at shop.usports.ca. And the crowd is ready to get going. Scoreless through the first. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole for this championship semifinal between the number 8 seed MRU Cougars and the number 5 seed host, the Montreal Carabins.
Yeah, and it was a great first period between these two teams, fairly evenly matched, even though the Cougars were able to double the Carabins shot totals. But now the Cougars on the power play, a minute 50 seconds of power play time. And one thing that's interesting about starting a period on the power play is it kind of throws out your momentum because you're starting the period at center ice, right?
Yeah.
You're not able to get that face-off deep inside the other team's zone as you normally would at the start of a power play. So for the Cougars, they're going to need to win this opening face-off and really just get themselves together early.
And then now we will head into this final minute as we get going. And as mentioned, Alex, you talked about getting out in front, and I had said leading into the first intermission that MRU Cougars were in this position. They were not. In fact, Courtney Coleman's goal was good in the first period of that quarterfinal. I will own that up. Coleman deserves the credit there. And again, just such a high-scoring tournament so far. The most combined we just saw in the consolation bracket semifinal between the St. FX X-Women and the Nipissing Lakers, as the X-Women took it 7-3. But here we go at center ice. And again, the Montreal Carabins are shorthanded at this time. Working the team on specials, and Courtney Coleman getting disrupted there by a stick on the puck. And Tatum Amy will drop it down deep.
As now the puck coming back to the point, and you see that the Cougars are just doing a great job so far, winning that opening draw and now setting up deep inside the zone.
And they're getting in close, but just as quickly the Carabins, they will go falling over there as Emma Bergeson was on the ice. It's all incidental, and they'll carry on. A fairly low penalty game so far, but once again, it's MRU Cougars on a power play. It's 1:06 left in that as they approach the net of Aube Racine. The only goal she has allowed so far came actually short-handed, or rather on a Montreal power play, so it was a short-handed goal. And I don't think she was expecting it. It led to a breakaway there, but there's Mackenzie Butt settling the puck down over to Alexandria Spence.
And one thing I'm noticing so far in this period, which has been very interesting, is that perhaps the quality of the ice twice.
And right in front, they get it. Putting it away for that very, very first goal of the game on the power play at that too. The Cougars bite in first. Kiana McNinch leading the way on the high five line.
That was such an amazing shot. I mean, Aube Racine didn't even see it coming. We're going to watch the replay here as McNinch gets it coming in as I was trying to make a talking point and just puts it above the shoulder of Aube Racine. Pretty much nullifies everything I was about to say, which was that the puck keeps getting stuck on the ice, and the Cougars had been having trouble with that, but obviously McNinch showing that you can get the puck off the ground very easily if you have an amazing shot, and that's exactly what we saw there. And the Cougars open the scoring yet again.
And McNinch didn't find success during the playoffs. She was scoreless through that, but she was able to put 3 goals in as a first-year rookie on the team. So what a moment for Kiana McNinch. Actually, in fact, it will be credited to Alex Spence. McNinch, of course, on the ice. She might get the assist, but either way, Cougars on the board first. And that's what counts for Mount Royal right now. They know it's tough to get any by Aube Racine. So Sydney Benko in-house getting the credit on that assist. And so early on here in the second, the Cougars come out refreshed from that break. Pelletier send the puck around the backboards. Trying to use the perimeter to their advantage. Now the Cougars. Both games, the Cougars have scored first. Not sure what incident happened there to send Mackenzie Kordick rolling on the ice.
Yeah, I think it's just the quality of the ice right now. It seems a little slippery, a little bit too flooded. And when the puck sticks to the ice like that, it's because there's too much water from the Zamboni, and then, you know, the ice just sort of gets frozen, and then you have these spots where, you know, the puck will just stick or players are tripping up. So that'll be something to watch out for. But as you had mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we were having so many games on this ice. 4 games will be played tonight. Exactly. And I think Concordia and UBC are really going to feel it later on. Yeah,
the integrity of the ice is, of course, what organizers take the utmost care for, but it is tough when you're on this barn. The temperature, of course, fluctuating in different ways, too, with the crowd sizes and all of those aspects to be taken note of. As the other teams arriving for their semifinals after this, that'll go at 7:30. It's the Concordia Stingers taking on UBC Thunderbirds. And down deep, Racine not needing to stop the flow of the game. And now playing keep away as the Carabins want to do. As they head out to the bench. Intensity here mounting. The Cougars again coming in close. That'll be a quick save for Racine. Montreal will carry on the play. And here comes Etier getting in close. So what a block. That one by Jordan Hutt. Now Fontaine along the point. Trying to find Audrey Gervais. Just as quickly, the Cougars come away with it. Now putting on the speed, Emma Bergeson getting in close. And McNinch nearly clocking that goal. Again, we were giving her credit, but now there's a delayed penalty coming. And that'll go against Le Carabin. It will be Fontaine who's going to take a seat in the penalty box.
Yeah, and the Cougars so far, they're 1 for 1 on the power play. They're going to get a second opportunity here. And, you know, for Aubracin, she made 3 huge saves in a row there, but you can tell that the Carabin, they're starting to get a little bit overwhelmed by the speed of the Cougars, and because of that, they're taking penalties, and that's something to watch out for in this game. The Carabin, they need to slow the pace down.
Laurie Fontaine taking a hooking call there, so that will allow for a Cougars power play as we started the second period, and that's what led to that goal. But here's a chance, short-handed. The Carabin one-on-one with Caitlin Ross, and they get it by. No, they don't. It is out, and it is good for the Cougars to keep going, maintaining a 1-0 lead. Joma now. The excitement level rising in Montreal. It's their hometown, their home team here playing. The host, the Carabin. Coleman, back to Bergeson. Bergeson trying to set up, down to Joma. Bergeson again. Moving the puck to Butts. Back to Bergeson. Firing it down up high. Looking for that support down deep. Couldn't get it from Hawk that time. There'll be a high sticking call.
Yeah, and I think that was just a great pad save from Caitlin Ross. Able to sprawl out onto the ice and get one single toe on it, and then it just trickled by the net.
That was an incredible effort. I truly believe that Joanne Garon had that chance one-on-one. But it's about making the read, and Caitlin Ross did it right. "50 seconds to go here on a Cougars power play. And the Carabin have been relentless in making it difficult for them to even get by. As Etier again. As the Cougars, 30 seconds to go, hoping to make good here with their power play unit. Sydney Benko along the wall, coming up on Lefebvre. And Nadeau now with the puck. She'll just throw it down deep to get some fresh legs on the ice. Chad Picard, Brianne Dando, those two putting up assists in their quarterfinal win. Lefebvre looking for that shot, big slap. 4 seconds to go on a Cougars power play, and yet we're in Cougars territory. Here comes Sydney Benko as we're back to even strength this time. Captain Tatum Amy hoping to make something. Tucking it behind to Breanne Trotter, 2 veterans on this Cougars team. And now will we see a penalty? Unsure of what shook out back behind the net.
Yeah, a bit of a confusing moment here on the ice, but either way, the Carabin will take it as they get to take a little bit of a short breather after killing off that power play, and they did a great job at that. The Cougars, they weren't able to get any real momentum. They made some errors at the blue line, led to a breakaway. So Carabin, they might shift the momentum now.
Yeah, in fact, Caitlin Ross was the steady Cougar in net, keeping her cool, and the Carabin now feeling this momentum. Veillette now one-on-one with Ross, and it's stopped. That is a tricky one to beat, as Veillette is incredible. She'll try to fire it again. Laura Cook in the way. That one nearly touching twine yet again. The crowd biting into every moment of this. Carabin with some of their best looks right now. Just behind the goal line, the pressure from the Cougars back behind their own net. Right now, Caitlin Ross is on the side of the Carabin fans, which is very loud in here, and Cameron Amundsen flying in quick. But some great defense provided by Joanie Grand. A big shot from the point, that gets stopped halfway. Now another chance. These breakaways coming, fired in, no. A wraparound instead, looking for a soft timing, getting in close, and Ross had it all. Covered in every way, but the Carabin using their intelligence on the ice to try different things, and still yet to get by Ross just yet. The crowd not pleased with some of the, I guess, lack of calls happening out on the ice. They were a very active participant in last night's quarterfinal, or Thursday's quarterfinal. Now the Carabin come away with it again, looking for some space. Ross stands tall for the save.
Yeah, and Caitlin Ross making the save there, but favoring her shoulder a little bit after making that stop. And, you know, Ross hasn't seen a ton of shots in this game, but the ones she has seen have been incredible shots. And she's been so good down low with the pads as her teammates come over, make sure she's okay. And obviously, you know, she's one of those players who, no matter what happens, she's going to want to stay in the game. And
yeah, we're going to see that again. Yeah, sorry, Alex, but there's that moment. What a hard shot, and just took it right up high, almost on the neck, just a little bit below. And so we're back underway in the Cougar zone just as quickly, trying to get out of it. Tori Williams, another graduating player, circling away from the Carabin pressure. Montreal with some of their best looks, as said, and they're heating up. Athena Hawk getting hit by Kylie Konek, but it's all legal and good as the puck stays in play in the Carabin zone, as they just try to clear it out, but Cougars will just bat it back down, looking for it anyway. It's stopped by Racine. And just a quick update, Alex, on those shots on goal. 14-9, and that 14 going the way of the Cougars.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that Aube Racine is having a great game in goal. Obviously let in that one shot, but it was a phenomenal shot at that. And then down the other way, Caitlin Ross has just been fantastic, making save after save, 2 breakaway stops so far in this period alone. And the Cougars defense, they're going to need to be a little bit more sound moving forward here, because the Carabin, they know how to convert on those.
Yeah, they're really working the ice. This is their home barn. They know it better than anyone else. And Veillette, that was one moment that was just stunning. The by far and away leading scorer for the Carabin. And now down deep, back behind the net of Racine. Jean Picard trying to provide some support there for Dando. Now Etier along the far wall. McNinch getting in there, as mentioned, a rookie for the Cougars, but has been outstanding in the playoffs. Now the Carabin comes sailing in. Captain Boulanger hoping to do the job. She gets stopped. And the quick changes in this game as your head on a swivel. Here we go. Montreal's Boulanger looking for it, and it's stopped by Ross, who quiets the crowd here in Montreal. That was a toe save on her blocker side. As the Carabin do what they can. Amalie Poiré, Leo on the ice, calling for that puck up deep, and Bergeson will get in the way. And that was a heavy hit into the boards, which will be whistled. Unsure of how that developed. It could have been one of the spots on the ice that Alex and I had talked about.
Yeah, that seemed like a completely accidental play, and good call on the referee to just call that play dead as soon as the Carabin player was able to touch it, because you never know what state the player could have been in that situation. But, you know, just a weird situation there for sure on the ice. It feels like we've seen a couple of plays like this now where players are just falling over in a very sort of ruckus fashion.
Well, the Carabin don't want to lose their stride. They were just heating up. They look to even things out here. The Cougars, again, the underdogs by far when you consider they came in the number 8 seed. They took down the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues, and now looking to upset the home crowd, the Carabin, for a shot at playing in the gold medal game. But Montreal knows how much time they have still, knows their strength. Into the far corner. And the Cougars looking to clear it out. Benko trying to make that room along the near wall. Hanson Young will fire it. It's wobbly, off kilter. McNinch now in close, and it goes wide. You can feel the energy from McNinch wanting those goals and getting some great looks so far. Here come the Carabin, and it's up high. Both sides giving it their all. Athena Hawk, one of those players to watch for the Cougars. Here's a chance from Trotter. It's stopped by Racine, and what a save.
Yeah, flashing the leather there is Aubracin, and great puck movement from the Cougars. We saw that saucer pass all the way down at the other end of the ice, being able to flip it to their winger, and then we see the shot here, and Racine, that would have gone right into her mask, but she was able to save herself with a quick glove.
Exactly 8.5 minutes to go here in the second period of this championship semifinal. Aliyah Joma and Boulanger in the circle. No clear winner there, bit of a stalemate. So it'll be an offside call. We'll reset. If you're just joining us, we are now officially in the championship bracket, but semifinal Saturday is exactly that. We started the day with the quarterfinal rounds, and now we know that tomorrow the consolation final will be played 11 a.m. between the Toronto Varsity Blues and the St. FX X-Women. That'll be a fun game to determine 5th place. But right now, looking to find out who will be in the gold medal game. And Veillette would like to see the Carabin there. She fires it. Ross will make a save in the glove. Talk about flashing leather.
Yeah, great save there as we see some antics after the whistle. And we saw that in the previous consolation game between St. FX and Nipissing, that the referees aren't really going to stand for it. If they see something, they're going to issue one warning, and then after that, they're going to start handing out penalties.
And so we'll get set here. Stick side of Caitlin Ross in net for the Cougars. And Montreal will try to fire it down deep. That one again getting oh so close. The crowd reacting. Here's another chance. Cougars keep it away. And it's almost like you can feel the entire weight of the arena just shifting from side to side as the teams go back and forth. The home crowd, Carabin, certainly living and breathing with every moment here on the ice. Cougars trying to make some space. Amundsen getting in close, looking for a drop pass to Kordic. And now Montreal will come flying in. Lafèvre, she's one to watch, as mentioned, scored twice in their quarterfinal to bring them to this moment and into the championship bracket. So both these teams know how to win here on this ice, especially the Carabin. And now Veillette, she gets by, she shoots, she can't get by. Ross, though, absolutely beating Tori Williams there. And again, the Carabin will try to score that time. A little bit of traffic as Veillette is waiting in the slot. Into the near side, the Cougars will fire it near Racine, and Carabin looking for those stretch passes. This time the Cougars a little bit more set up for it. And again, Caitlin Ross with 2 massive stops. You're shaking your head, Alex.
I can't believe it. Ross has just been simply fantastic in this second period. She's been standing on her head, by my estimation, has made 12 saves in this period alone. And just using the pads here, because we're going to watch the rebound. And I want you guys at home to watch how textbook this goaltending is. You see the shot's going to come in. It's almost tipped on goal, and then just pushing off with the right pad, being able to get across the crease to make that second save and also freeze the puck. That's incredible.
And now another shot, that one off the stick. But again, the Carabin getting chances. That was Kali Kunek, who of course scored in the first quarterfinal and added 2 helpers at that. She was on fire for the Carabin. And it'll be an icing call there. Wow, the momentum in this building right now, Alex.
Yeah, you know, the Carabin fans, they're very excited, and they feel like a goal is coming very soon. And the Cougars, I don't think they can play 26 minutes and 17 more seconds like this. They need to start pushing the pace a little bit. They need a second goal. They can't just collapse on their goaltender and force Ross to make all the saves, because that's a recipe for disaster.
Montreal, again, have been tremendous. They put together 13 regular season wins on this ice. Now looking to take this semi-final and head into the gold medal game tomorrow night. MRU will get called for an offside. Quick little snapshot of those shots on goal, favoring the Cougars ever so slightly now, as Alex mentioned, 16-14. And then for face-off wins, that goes the Cougars' way as well right now, 18-11. Power plays, it's 1 for 2 for Mount Royal and 0 for 1 for Montreal. As we continue here in the second period. Back down deep. As the Cougars now collect themselves, Laura Cook using the boards to pass, trying to find McNinch. Nadeau, one of the graduating players on the Carabin. Veillette, is it in? No, it's waved off right in front of the net of Ross of the Cougars. They must have heard you, Alex. They just batted that away from their goaltender, trying to provide that support. The shots on goal, though, tipping away in favor of the Carabin, which is not surprising. A strong team finished second in the RSEQ, while the Cougars placed second in Canada West. And the Carabin just settling down, trying to slow the pace. Change the tempo here, looking for those passes cleanly, and it isn't. Athena Hawk instead up to Courtney Coleman as we get some fresh legs out on the ice. 4.5 to go in the second period. Fontaine getting pestered by Amy. Now Joma will collect it. And Montreal working the puck out of their zone. Sending it down deep. As the Cougars, Joma with a quick feed to Kordic. Kordic putting on the speed. Got a few to beat and a shot towards the net. That one wide. Collecting it back behind. As Morgan Ramsey will circle it in. Or try to. The pressure from the Carabin. And here we go. Setting up on the right side. Trying to find that feed in. It gets disrupted by Lindsay Janes. Poiré-Lehoux doing the work back behind the net and digging in there on the Cougars. As the sticks get twisted and the crowd just gets ever so slightly more dialed up, Alex.
Yeah, you know, the Carabin, as I was saying, their supporters, they feel like they should have a couple of goals right now. But Caitlin Ross, I mean, what more can you say on that front? I just think for the Carabin, they just need to keep shooting the puck and hope that they get a lucky bounce that ends up in the back of the net, because that's what it's going to take at this point.
There's the crowd. You can see it on screen. That's only a little sliver of it, mind you, inside Sepsim at the University of Montreal. And now Sydney Benko coming up the right side, firing it down for Metzger to collect it. Both these teams adjusting to the speed of the game. Cougars love to use that to their advantage. And Metzger now over to Cook. And Emma Bergeson coming up on a momentum stopper from Etier. Carabin working it up along the side. Circling, trying to get through on Ross. They are changing their angles and their tempo to see what they can do. Intercepted by Picard. Now working it over. That pass back on the stick of a Cougar. Mount Royal's Brianne Trotter can't keep it onside though.
Yeah, and so for the Cougars, they haven't really had a real shot at Aubracin in quite some time, and perhaps that will play into their favor a bit if they do get a good, solid chance on Aubracin. Maybe she won't be ready for it, but that's something you can't really bank on. You have to keep up with the Carabins throughout the entire game. You can't give Montreal a reason to think that they're going to win this game.
Another thing to mention, of course, is that goal scored by MRU came on the power play, came on the player advantage. Another offside call. And that is something as well I wanted to point out earlier, that so Aubracin let one in that quarterfinal after the team already put 4 on the board, but that one was a shorthanded goal from UNB. So also on specials, just something to note, neither side either strength. Uncertain what that really means, but of course lots of confidence when they are 5-on-5. They're a solid team. Of course, you have to be when you're on the national stage. No one got here by chance. Everyone fought through tough playoff rounds to get here. And both of these teams didn't touch conference banners at the end of the regular season, despite putting up some incredible regular season efforts. I mean, Canadien going 17-8, and then looking over at MRU 18-10, and of course the Canada West Conference, a 9-team conference.
Yeah, and when you look at the semifinals, right, it's all Canada West and it's all RSEQ, and I think that just goes to show that those were the 2 best divisions in hockey, and it makes sense that, you know, the Cougars and the Carabins would still have a shot at winning a national title.
And now fired up is Nadeau. She'll hit the far wall and try to bring it around. Again, these teams are so good collecting those rebounds, adding in that speed. And here's a chance, fired off the body instead of Mackenzie Butts. Final minute and a half here in the second period, where scoring opened early on with the Cougars. Montreal setting up high slot, looking for a chance. That one skims by wide, doesn't need to touch netminder or net. Montreal again, looking forward, it's waved incomplete. Nadeau looking for that chance, and now a softer shot. They're trying everything, and they're right in front. The traffic just clogged up there. Coleman providing some relief for the Cougars. As we're in the last minute of play, it's an icing call, but I mean, what does that do, Alex, when you just have all of that energy growing right in front of the net?
Yeah, you know, it's very hard for the Cougars to kind of get out of their zone. You know, you're kind of bunched up in front of your goaltender, trying to make sure that they don't get any shots on goal, and then you have nobody else left to go fetch the puck when it goes into the corner, and then when you do, you ice the puck and you're left with a very tired unit on the ice.
And so now MRU will defend, hoping to carry on a lead into the locker room or possibly extend it, but the Carabins have other ideas. They know they can feel this momentum building here. Captain Boulanger trying to keep it in. So Poiré-Lehu will do it herself, or rather that was Dondo providing that support. Tatum Amy, the captain, bringing the puck all the way into the zone, and a missed pass there to Amundsen. And here's Lindsay James setting up. Back to Cook. Cook fires it, and it's gloved. Easy peasy by Racine, but again, both goaltenders showing their strength today.
Yeah, and I like that play there from the Cougars, just being able to get a shot on goal, and that nice back pass we saw there, and you know, just getting a little bit of their momentum back, their groove back. I think this intermission is going to be critical for them. I think they need to just catch their breath and enter the third period just on a more fresh footing.
Final seconds here of the second period, but it's right behind the net of Aube Racine. And that will do it. Mount Royal will head into the locker room with a 1-0 lead, but a tenuous one at that because of so many close chances from Montreal. When we look at the saves, Aube Racine with 15 saves. And guess what? 15 saves on the other side as well, Alex.
Yeah, and when you look at the quality of saves, it's clear that Caitlin Ross's saves were just simply fantastic. A couple of breakaways, then some glove saves, and then just using the blocker, the pads, basically using her entire body to make sure that this score stays 1-0.
And we will head down to the bench shortly. Our very own Isabelle Germain asking French language questions to Aubriane Veillette. It would be great to hear from her. And then hang tight because an English breakdown will come to follow. Here we go.
La joueuse Aubriane Veillette, est-ce qu'on est prêt en bas? Aubriane, est-ce que tu m'entends?
Ouais.
Aubriane, commençant après 40 minutes de jeu, c'est 1-0. Caitlin Ross là, semble arrêter tous vos tirs.
Ah, c'est sûr que c'est une bonne bataille, mais on a prouvé qu'on était dans la game en étant dans la zone presque toute la deuxième période. On a eu des avantages numériques, on les a bien tués comme on dit. Puis on a eu des bonnes chances. Maintenant, il faut juste finir au but.
Et ça fait quoi de jouer un championnat national à la maison? On profite de la grande patinoire au Sepsum et de la foule là, qui est en délire depuis le début du tournoi.
Oui, c'est sûr que c'est vraiment incroyable. On peut voir même aujourd'hui, à 16h30, jeudi soir, c'était plein aussi. Je pense que ça nous aide vraiment beaucoup d'avoir tous ces supporters-là.
Et Isabelle Leclerc semble utiliser énormément le premier trio. Est-ce qu'on a une stratégie particulière là, pour venir à bout de Caitlin Ross?
Non, je pense qu'on est une équipe en profondeur, puis chaque joueuse est super importante. Puis on essaie vraiment de juste compter un but puis réussir à la mettre au fond du filet en ce moment.
Eh bien, Audriane, merci énormément pour cette entrevue. Je te souhaite la meilleure des chances pour la fin du match.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci, Audriane. Donc, Isabelle, je te laisse traduire les propos en anglais.
Oui, just talking about how important this crowd has been for them, and it's been a great support the last couple games. It's really important for them to come out and give them a good show, but they're not worried about Caitlin Ross, just need to figure out a new strategy in the third period and keep doing what they did that period.
Bien, merci beaucoup.
And that was our very own Isabelle Germain providing the English breakdown of what we just heard from Aubriane Veillette. Again, the Carabin being fueled by the crowd, and you can feel the momentum swelling in the second period. Can't wait for the final 20. Here's the breakdown. A much closer game, not as lopsided heading into after the first 40 here. Shots on goal favoring the Cougars 16-15. Power plays 1 for 2 for the Cougars, where that goal came from, and then 0 for 1 so far from Montreal. We'll be back with more. You're watching the 2023 U Sports Women's Hockey Championship on CBC.
stories behind the glory. Watch, listen, stream, read CBC Sports.
Every year, U Sports presents a series of major honors to the top student athletes and coaches in each sport. Here are the nominees and the winner of the 2023 U Sports Fox 40 Coach of the Year Award.
Here are the nominees for the 2023 Fox 40 U Sports Women's Hockey Coach of the Year Award. Voici les candidats pour le prix de l'entraîneur de l'année Fox 40 U Sport. Des sports universitaires de l'Atlantique from the AUS, Ben Berthiaume, Université Saint-FX University. Du réseau du sport étudiant du Québec from the RSEQ, Dominique Desmarais, Université Bishops University. Du sport universitaire de l'Ontario from the OUA, Vicky Sunahara, l'Université de Toronto, University of Toronto. Et de l'Association Ouest Canadienne from Canada West, Howie Draper, l'Université de l'Alberta, University of Alberta. Le ou la lauréate du prix Fox 40 en tant que l'entraîneur de l'année est, the winner of the Fox 40 Coach of the Year Award is, Vicky Sunahara, l'Université de Toronto, University of Toronto.
And through the first 40 minutes here in the championship semifinal, the first to determine who will go into the gold medal round and who will play for bronze tomorrow. The MRU Cougars lead 1-0, a power play goal by Alex Spence, and we'll be back with more. I'm Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole, and you're watching U Sports on CBC.
This season, catch the best in Atlantic University sport excitement at home or on the go with AUS TV. Soccer, rugby, football, volleyball, hockey, basketball, and more. Tune in at AUSTV.ca. All your favorite university teams showcasing their talents in one place. AUS TV, powered by Bell Alliant. They bring it to the court. They bring it to the field. They bring it to the ice. And now they bring it to you. Presented by Subway, the official fuel of Atlantic University sport.
U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
It's that moment again, the one you dream of every night. La seule chose qui te préoccupe, c'est la gloire. Le cheminement de la réussite, of pushing yourself further than ever before. But the true glory is in the shadows. Les sacrifices que tu fais, quand toutes les chances sont contre toi. When you can't push one more second, chase the glory. Visez haut.
This period of U Sports on CBC is presented by. Cette période d'hockey universitaire vous est présentée par Saint-Hubert, proud partners of the U Sports Women's Hockey Championship, fier partenaire du championnat de hockey féminin U-Sport.
Welcome back to Semifinal Saturday as we get set for the final 20 minutes of regulation here, and it's a tight game so far. The Mount Royal University Cougars off a power play goal from Alex Spence have the lead at this time, but it's 1-0, and shots on goal nearly evening out here through 40 minutes, 16-15 for the Cougars, the Canada West finalists, and then Montreal, your host, but also the RSEQ finalists coming in strong as well. Daniela Ponticelli alongside Alex Cole. We're having so much fun here on Semifinal Saturday, already through the consolation round. This, of course, the first to determine who in the championship bracket will head into the gold medal game and who will play for bronze.
Yeah, absolutely. And so far we've had such an amazing slate of games. You know, it all started with the Toronto Varsity Blues defeating the UNB Reds, and then a 10-goal game between Nipissing and St. FX. But now a much lighter affair in terms of the goals. And, you know, we've talked about how there isn't a single goaltender who's gotten a shutout yet at this tournament. And so far through 40 minutes, Caitlin Ross pitching a shutout right now, although I probably just jinxed it by saying the words out loud. So I'm sorry to all of the Mount Royal fans out there.
We'll see what happens. These officials are keeping the game honest and fair. Grace Barlow, Shauna Neary, your referees, and then Laura Gustauskas and Jessica Chartrand, the lines persons for this game. The officials have been outstanding and they come from across the country just like these teams. Oh, the hosts, Caravan, certainly right at home here on their own ice as we get set for the third period. The captain's at the center. And the puck is down. The Caravan will get first touch on the play as Courtney Coleman watches the puck skim by. Picard trying to get in close, and these lines have all seen success so far. You have to win in order to get into this championship bracket. Etier along the wall for the Caravan. Now far corner. They will try to test Ross in some different ways. I'm sure Isabelle Leclerc had some words for her team in the locker room of the Caravan. Championship pedigrees on that bench, and a quick cover up over on the side of Scott Rivet and the MRU Cougars. This is only the second time the Cougars have been to Nationals, that first time in 2020, and most people know what happened there. Day one play happened. The Cougars actually toppled the Varsity Blues in that game too to get to the semi. Never played because the event was canceled. So here they are. They have not won a conference championship either. So they know they're playing here to prove their best, and so far it has been strong. The Caravan will certainly continue to test it. As we're a minute into this third period, Alex Spence, the goal scorer, going to help out the team here. Kaya Borbandy now settling back to Metzger into the slot. And it's a busy place there as Nadeau tries to help out. Great save by Obracine right out of the locker room.
Yeah, a solid start here from the Cougars. They were definitely having a difficult final 10 minutes to that second period where they were collapsing on their goaltender. They were really running out of energy. The Carabins were running rampant throughout the Cougars defense. But now to start this period, they've gotten a couple of shots on Obracine. They've settled the play down. They just need to continue to push the pace, try to get a second goal.
And now Montreal putting on the speed and looking for some help on the wings here. Getting into trouble on the slot. Both teams with tremendous defense and, for the most part, honest play, as penalties have been few and far between. Now Lefebvre missing that chance there on the pass. And the Caravan will just slow it down. That's actually the Canada West crowd building the chant in-house, and McNinch trying to get it past the blue line, can't. As Ramsey will look to provide support. Both teams fighting for a chance to play in the gold medal game. Here comes the Caravan drum. As Montreal now works it out of their own end. Pass Lindsay Jane to Jessica Boulanger. Boulanger, the soft drop pass. As we will work to slow it down. And Dondo providing some support for the Caravan. Courtney Coleman now coming nearly face to face with just a wicked hard shot. Touches the backboards. Boulanger. And the Caravan can certainly fire them out as well. We saw some rockets launched towards Ross in the second period especially. Even some caught up high near the collarbone. And now here could be a chance. Sydney Benko rushing to get down deep for that pass to Metzger, but it goes behind the net instead. As the Cougars battle along the far wall. Thériault in there for the Caravan. And Benko forcing the redirect. And getting in close. Traffic in the way. Good blocks by the Carabins. Another one fired off almost blindly by Sydney Benko as she goes off to the bench. Carabin forced to the outside. Along the wall, puck up and just in front of the net of Ross. Another chance, that one skims by. And Cougars fans might need to thank some outside forces at play there for that moment. Allowing the Cougars to hang on to that 1-0 lead. And the Carabins circling now Lefebvre. Again, Milan Lefebvre able to put away 2 goals yesterday, but that is an offside call. Ooh, and you get a quick pulse of the crowd there, Alex.
Yeah, the Carabin fans not happy at all, and they haven't had as much to cheer about in this third period as they did in the final minutes of the second. And, you know, the clock is starting to tick away here. It's still a 1-0 game. They're basically just a goalie pull away from really tying this one up. It's just that, you know, they need to be able to prove that they can get one past Caitlin Ross.
Now Kiana McNinch is out on the ice for that power play goal. Getting fired up, rookie on the Cougars as the Carabins move quick. Kalyan Nadeau out on the ice. Cameron Amundsen. Can't get the puck though as Montreal. Trying to regain some composure, dump it down deep. Etier, though, will find it along the near board. Gloriane Etier has been just phenomenal so far for the Carabins. Allowing some chances as Alex Spence works to try to cover up the puck. The crowd not pleased. That's the home crowd anyway. As the Cougars now along the boards right in front of their bench. Veillette in the mix. Lindsay Janes carries it away. Will she take a shot? She nearly does. It gets dropped back. Coleman fires one. That catches the body in front of the net. Some quick efforts by the Cougars in succession, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. As we saw some body checking there, and the referees are actually going to send a MRU player to the box.
Yeah.
It's going to be Courtney Coleman.
Courtney Coleman, that's why the crowd is reacting the way they are. It's a hooking call on Coleman there. So now we see the Carabins with a chance. They have had one power play before, unable to capitalize. We'll see the moment again, the hooking call on Coleman. In fact, actually, you can't see it. That was the effort by Lindsay James. So this is why the crowd is getting so hyped. The Cougars crowd as well. Right in front of the net of Caitlin Ross. The Cougars penalty kill will be tested now for the second time tonight. Right now, just a 1-0 lead, in that very first goal by Alex Spence from the Cougars was on a power play. Could we see something shorthanded? Kaya Borbandy with the speed. Montreal now bringing it out. Poiré Lehu moving quickly to get by Laura Cook, and it's gloved by Caitlin Ross instead. And we talk about the power play, of course, great stats for both teams, but when you look at what Montreal was able to do, they did go 3 for 3 on the power play in that quarterfinal game. But again, the Cougars, they did go 2 for 2 on the penalty kill against the top seed Toronto Varsity Blues. So that's as it stands for their lone game prior to this in the tournament. 1:30 to go now on a Carabin power play. And Milan Lefebvre out there, Fontaine, trying to work it and create some space. Now to Connect. Connect, of course, already on the board in this overall tournament, trying to break the stalemate, and we'll have a penalty coming to the Carabins for that effort. Calais Connect not liking that, having some words, but either way, she is going to the penalty box.
Yeah, Connect absolutely incensed by that play there. And then you have Laura Cook on the other end, who's just trying to get back to her bench, and obviously was the victim of that play. So a bad penalty for the Carabin. You know, discipline is it's always gonna come down to discipline in these moments. And, you know, the Cougars, they're gonna get a 56-second power play out of this.
We'll see how things develop here on the ice. So right now it is 4-on-4. As Alex Cole was just saying, the way that the clocks are timing out here, 53 seconds to go on Coleman's penalty. Right now the play entering the MRU zone. You can tell emotions running high right in front of the net of Ross. Again, that one fired off. They're trying it in close, they're trying it from far, and now again, Nadeau will pick it up from the boards and look for that space, creating those open lanes here for the Carabin, who's applying all sorts of pressure. Audrey Gervais with so many chances, but the Cougars now, they're just waiting it out. 15 more seconds to go before they're back to even strength, and Courtney Coleman comes flying out of the box. Sydney Benko getting pestered by Etier, enough to free the puck. Lauriane Etier, tremendous on the PK for the Carabin. Now just back behind the net of Aubracine, and it is 5-on-4 now for another 47 seconds at most. Benko tries to fire off the puck, but they'll settle for a slowdown. Mackenzie Butts setting up center, looking for Joma. Joma now to Butts. She shoots, catches the body, and again, Aubracine reads it all the way through to make a clutch save.
Yeah, that was just a textbook save there by Racine, and the Cougars now playing very solid hockey. This is the type of hockey they need to play if they want to be able to keep this lead for 11 minutes and 51 more seconds. But now they have the power play. They have 29 more seconds to just calm the play down and try to get some sort of cycle going.
Henri Fontaine for the Carabin, causing some disruption right off that face-off. Neither side is going to go quietly. Bergeson just rips one. And into the near corner, the Carabin, not certain fans trying to see your Athena Hawk having trouble. There's some tricky ice in that slot. Back the other way, the Carabin. Fontaine looking for Connect. And then down deep, why not, just to do the line change. Brianne Trotter, she got the game winner yesterday, now to McNinch, back to Trotter. Trotter can't fire it off. And Alex, I want to talk about this. We've now seen it a number of times in this zone in particular, a bit of soft ice.
Yeah, and that's something we actually did see early in the second period as well, some soft ice in this zone. We also saw the fans a little upset because they felt as though the puck had sort of gone up into the netting, but the referee decided against it. Perhaps the net was just rattling because of the boards, or at least that's what the ref probably saw. But yeah, the ice, definitely a bit of a factor right now, and it potentially even made Quinnex a penalty look a little bit worse than it probably was.
And so now we're taking a look at how the Carabin are going to make their comeback to tie things up. Will they? Ross stops at that time. And the Cougars now in transition. McNinch coming up on one of the Carabin, who does enough to stop that momentum. Loose stick out on the ice. And I'm not sure much will please the Carabin fans other than a goal at this point, as an icing call is coming.
And the Carabin are, you know, struggling a little bit in this period. They have been able to get about 4 shots on Caitlin Ross, but they're nowhere near the same quality of shots that we saw throughout the second period. So for the Carabin, they're going to need to find that sauce that they had in the second period, but the Cougars just doing a great job playing defensive hockey.
And Bergeson firing one in, hoping for a tip-in from Ramsey, who was set up there, and Amundsen as well. Now Laura Cook, her stick on the puck. Bergeson. And Aubracine also playing tremendously in the crease for the Carabin. Montreal now brings out another strong line in Brian Dondeau, who's trying to give chase, but it'll be an icing call instead.
And so for the Cougars, you know, they're going to get caught with the same line here. And for the Carabins, it's an opportunity to maybe shift the ice and tilt it back in their favor. And, you know, they're a team that they've played down before. They're a team that knows how to make comebacks, and we'll see if they can pull it off.
They're certainly getting the look. Jean Picard likely just looking to connect with a teammate on the other side. Nearly does. These board bounces. Helpful to move the puck quickly here. And now a chance for Poirello, and she gets it! The equalizer for the Carabins!
And you had to figure it was coming, and just like that, it's a 1-1 game, and that is a beautiful backhander right there. And, you know, for the Cougars, they had a bit of a defensive breakdown. It was going to be a two-on-one regardless, and just little mistakes like that off of a face-off can hurt you. And so now they're going to have to act as though this game has started over.
We'll see that moment again. Beautiful stick handling. And as Alex said, the backhand for the bar down. Amalie Poirello getting that goal to put the Carabins on the board. Spoil any kind of shutout night or vision for the Cougars, but still plenty of time here. That goal at even strength as well. And so now both of these fans fired up. Coleman setting up quick. She can't get one by Etier, so instead the Carabins will take that, bring it close. Veillette will just fire that into the sun, it seems. Off the boards now, Joma looking for that chance. Getting in close. Nearly wrapped around. The crowd reacting to that one as well. Joma looking for Bergeson. Neither side want this to go into overtime. They want it decisive. And both teams playing high-level hockey. Sydney Benko stick handling her way in. Obrasin with a quick save. Keep it in play now, back behind the net. And the Carabins fans lighting up here. Justine Pelletier will deliver the puck down deep. And now the Carabins nearly finding themselves in the slot. McNinch will carry it up. Poirello getting the crowd going as it's announced for her goal, but a stick save quick. Jean Picard getting another assist of the tournament. Here's a chance again for Poirello. She gets in close. Ross reads that one.
Yeah, and I think that was the wrong play right there. Should have passed the puck. You had a player wide open at the doorstep, and that probably would have gone in the back of the net had you passed it off to Lauriane Etier, who was right there coming in. Actually, that was Joanie Garand coming into the play. Sorry. So obviously the Carabins, they have all the confidence in the world right now. They want to try to end this in regulation. They feel like they're the better team, and you know, even though the rankings kind of show that, it doesn't mean that the Cougars can't come back and win this one.
Now Mount Royal looking to break this deadlock. Kordic to Bergeson. Down the street, and it's in! It's good for Mount Royal, and it's good for the go-ahead.
Yeah, and the Carabins can't believe it, and I think Obrasin can't believe it either. She thought she had that in her pads, and then all of a sudden, you see the Cougars fighting for it, and they're able to backhand it home, and I think the Carabins would have preferred a whistle there, but the referee deciding that the puck was still very much live. We see on the replay here is
it's Morgan Ramsey, one of the graduating players, and her teammates dancing with her down on the bench because it's such a moment for Morgan Ramsey. And a tough go for Obrasin. Again, plenty of time left in this game, but right now, Cougars with a 2-1 lead. Shortly after, the Carabins tied it up here in the third. You can just feel the energy in this building. Absolutely electric right now in the semifinal. So much at stake. Now Coleman getting in close, looking for the feed to Joma. Timing a little off. They're going to send it again now. As Joma looks down deep. And now, Veillette veers by, gets in close, it's up high, and will be whistled down. That one for sure touched net. And so right now, we just know that that goal from Mount Royal, of course, scored by Morgan Ramsey. And just to give you some perspective on number 10, she only had 2 goals the entire regular season, played 27 games, and then in her 9 playoff games, didn't collect any points. That's because she's the defense, right? She's the one making sure that no one else scores.
Yeah, it was interesting to see her so far up in the play on that one.
Just seizing the moment, likely Scott Rivet in the locker room, suggesting that it's time to dig deep on a team like this when you're facing Montreal. The Cougars keeping it close. But now another chance for the Carabins, and it was Mylène Lefebvre who put together 2 goals yesterday, or rather on Thursday in the quarterfinal. And Picard working it from the blue line. Tori Williams getting in the way. Will that count for a penalty? Officials say no. They'll keep it moving along here. We're in the final 6 minutes of regulation. Tori Williams dumping the puck down deep. And McNinch now dropping it back for Trotter. Trotter along the far wall and just holding it down. And the board battle goes the way of the Carabins as they carry the puck forward. Picard outworking the Cougars. And it's a physical game here in Montreal. Both teams equally providing some hard hits. The Carabins trying to use some traffic. Athena Hawk stopping that for the Cougars. Over to Kiana McNinch. And good blue line protection there for the Carabins. As Audrey Gervais provided that. Now Ramsey, who just scored, looking for that feed to Amundsen. And Racine will just grab the puck in close.
Yeah, and I think that was the best course of action. Obviously, Racine failing to capture the puck or be able to freeze it on that last goal and just trying to atone from that mistake. It was a difficult mistake at that, but now with under 5 minutes to go, it is go time for the Carabins.
Right now, shots on goal favoring Mount Royal ever so slightly, 23-20. That was not the case in their quarterfinal that they won. Meanwhile, face-offs also going the way of Montreal at this time, 30-21. They're in the offensive zone now. Montreal fired up. They now have less than 5 minutes to get an equalizer and to defend it, or at least fight for that chance to play for gold right at home, and that would be something. I think this entire building would just shake to its core. And anything is possible here in the national competition when it's a one-game format, and we're in these brackets now in a semifinal playing for a final chance. And now Boulanger, the captain, trying to get by, but Tori Williams will intercept. And the Carabins will readjust up to Audrienne Veillette. It gets whistled down instead for an icing.
Yeah, and this is working out in the Cougars' favor. They're doing a good job of just ticking down the seconds, and that's all they really need to do. Obviously, getting another goal would bolster this lead and put them in a much better position to win in regulation, but at the same time, they're getting faceoffs inside the Carabins zone. They just need to make sure they can push the puck along the boards and just stay there for the next 240 seconds.
And again, it's the Carabins who are the higher seed as well. They came in as the 5th ranked host, something you don't see very often. Hosts get an automatic berth to nationals, but there's another glove saved by Racine. She was watching that develop as Kaya Borbandi tried to fire it off just right from the face-off.
Yeah, and it was a good save by Racine. Obviously has great reflexes, is always telling or can key in on where players are going to shoot. So that was just an example of that.
The Cougars fans now chanting. They came a long way. The Carabins fan doing what they can as well to provide that home support. And the Carabins will carry it around their own net. Trying to get out of the way of Ava Metzger. And now Lefebvre. Oh, she was looking for that pass there to connect, who has had no chance lately to test Ross, but that doesn't mean that there isn't time. 3:20 left to go here in regulation. And just a 1-goal lead right now for MRU. The Canada West finalists taking on the RSEQ finalists. Both teams getting upsets in their quarterfinals. And now a chance again, or actually rather for Paré-Leu to get the puck out. I think that's soft ice stalling any progress there. Final 3 minutes to go here. As Fontaine looking to work the puck around the back end of the net, can't seem to do that. Fire it down center now. Veillette putting on the speed, getting in close. It's saved by Ross. And the rebound collected from the Cougars. Kept in along the blue line. And what an effort. Kellyanne Nadeau, I have to say, Alex was calling for it. It was set up nicely, but Ross again. This is not the only championship, of course, taking place this weekend. Men's hockey is taking shape. Canada's best universities men's hockey teams are in Charlottetown for the 2023 Cavendish Farms University Cup Championship. Catch every second of the exciting action on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and the CBC Sports app.
Yeah, and we see head coach Isabelle Leclerc taking a timeout now, 14th year as head coach of these Carabins. You know, it's a good time to take a timeout, obviously, because there's only about 2 minutes and 24 seconds left in the game. You're going to have a face-off deep inside the Cougars' territory. You can elect to pull your goalie right now, put your 6 players on the ice, and then see how things develop. Obviously, the Carabins have been fantastic on the man advantage this year, so being 6-on-5 will be a huge help for them. And they've also proven that they can get one past Caitlin Ross in this period, and you just need to make sure that you put out the best personnel possible.
Well, they will stick with keeping Aube Racine in net, and will go 5-on-5. But as mentioned, Alex Cole saying, of course, deep here in the Cougar zone, kept in along the blue line. They'll fire it in. And that was just a great block provided by the Cougars. Tori Williams. Now Nadeau. Ah, there we go, empty net, 6-on-5, so it wasn't off the draw, but just after it. Veillette, Paré-Leu, who's already scored. She had tied it up at 1 for the Carabins. Let's see what we can do here as Montreal develops over on the right side. Now back near side. Coleman gets tripped up. Boulanger loses a stick, and now Coleman loses a stick, and here, a chance, the Carabins fire it. It's saved by Ross off the body. Kept in the Cougar zone. Pressure mounting here from Montreal. They'll settle it down. Trickled in. It's saved once, twice, and again. Covered up. The Cougars fans erupt.
Yeah, those were 2 huge, monstrous saves from Caitlin Ross, keeping her team in this game, making sure that that 2-1 lead sticks around, and the Carabins cannot believe that they couldn't score there. And we see a couple of Carabins fans who have actually started to intermingle with the Cougars fans, trying to counterbalance the flags here, as most of the Carabins fans are all the way down at the other end, but we do have a couple stragglers.
You gotta love the energy in Montreal. Whether you're a visiting team or not, it's been electric. But here we go as Carabins look to tie things up. Fontaine settling back down low, looking for some space. I believe Ross touched that one, but back out to the perimeter at 6-on-5. Another shot towards the net, and again right in front. Ross making all the saves there. Empty net on the other side, and the Carabins, Fontaine looking to settle it back. They're trying to find those tempo switch-ups, but we're in the final minute here, and there goes the whistle.
Yeah, as the puck ended up going into the net there, and the Cougars, they're a minute away from going to the U Sports National Championship final. And, you know, obviously the Carabins, they're a team that they can get a goal in the last second if they need to. And so the Cougars, they can't really celebrate yet. They need to make sure that they can get the puck out of the zone, spend as much time in the neutral zone as possible, maybe even get an empty netter.
But right now, Jean Picard has the puck and it's fired down deep. That one nearly connecting. Poirier also out on the ice. And the Carabins need to settle down as it's 46 seconds to go here in regulation. And they're coming in close, clogging up the slot. And now Montreal looking for that moment. And there, the Cougars at least buying some time. They won't get close to the net. Kalian Nadeau stopping that from happening. Final 30 seconds. Kaya Borbandi now up to Benko. Disrupting the plays. Tori Williams trying to backhand it into that zone too, but the Carabins just looking to collect themselves here. Final 15 seconds to determine who's going for goal. Kaya Borbandi all alone with an empty net. She'll tuck it away, and the MRU Cougars are now up 3-1.
What an amazing turn of events here. The Cougars were up 1-0. They gave up a goal to the Carabins, and it seemed like this was going to be Montreal's time to shine and finally take the lead back. And then the Cougars said, no, wait a second, we're the better team. We feel like we deserve this. And they came back right away, scored that second, and then the empty netter. And you are going to see an 8th seed in the U Sports Final for women's hockey. And you got to love that parity throughout the conferences.
Still the seconds to wind down here, and the Carabins will finish strong as they do. Alex Spence, who opened up scoring here on the power play, will tuck it away, and the Mount Royal University Cougars are going through to the gold medal game here in Montreal.
Yeah, and the Cougars, they're guaranteed a medal. They're going to either win gold or silver tomorrow night, and this team cannot believe what they've accomplished, or maybe they do believe it. It's just, you know, a dream for this team, a team that's only been in U Sports now for 10 years. And you look at the Carabins, they're disappointed. Obviously, they felt like this was their game to win, an opportunity to potentially play a divisional rival in the final. But instead, they might play a divisional rival for bronze
That
tomorrow.
could happen too, exactly. We'll see. I mean, there's never been an All-Canada West final. We'll see what magic is left out there on the ice, but what an effort put together by the Cougars. They felt like they were, you know, seated a little bit off kilter. It's a bit tough in a tournament where they don't want any, of course, conference teams to meet in any rounds other than a potential final. So that's the way it shook out. But they did it anyway. They toppled the Varsity Blues, and then they came back to take on the 5th seed, the host team at that, the Montreal Carabins, who again earned their spot here despite, of course, getting the host berth as it is. And it's an absolutely electric game. Big part in thanks to Caitlin Ross. But let's break it down. The first goal of the game by Alex Spence, power play, a minute 25 into the second period. And then Montreal responded, as you said, Alex, in the third. 10.5 minutes in, Amélie Poirier-Lou, assisted by Jean Picard. And then, of course, Morgan Ramsey responded. That was just over 2 minutes after that. And finally, the empty netter tucked away by Kaya Borbandi. In so many instances that we've seen in this championship, the empty netter has been the deciding factor. Teams, of course, doing everything they can. So now we know the Mount Royal University Cougars will play for gold, while our first bronze medal finalist will be the host Montreal Carabins. We're going to take a moment here just to settle it down and just break down the stats super quickly. Right now, saves, Ross making a total of, I believe, 24 actually. And then over on the other side, Obracine making 22 saves. So just shows you how close the game was, Alex. And no surprise, Caitlin Ross, the Nike player of the game for the Cougars. They know how lucky they are to have her, how many clutch moments Ross delivered. She had 6 shutouts in the regular season, 3 in the playoffs. Didn't get one tonight, but came very close.
Yeah, she was just phenomenal. Stood on her head numerous times.
Well-deserved. Amélie Poirier-Lou getting the Nike Player of the Game nod for the Canadiens, and nothing to hang your head low about, as it was tremendous effort. We knew it was going to be a close game, Alex, and it really came down to every last second. The crowds, a tremendous participant in this game, and the Cougars all the way from Calgary, their second appearance at Nationals, their first one, a bit of a write-off, being the one that was canceled by the pandemic. And to think that this is a team, as you mentioned, came into into Canada West play rather, riding a high sort of on a different league, but then coming into Canada West, and they struggled to get into the playoffs, crack the playoffs until about the late 2010s. Like we're talking about the late 2019, around there. Then they finally make it to Nationals. Can't play in a semifinal there, come back. A little feeling of redemption to finally play the game they were meant to play in 2020. A different opponent, sure, but they topple the Canadiens. And now we get set for the second semifinal. It has been a full day. Can't believe we're headed into Game 4 of semifinal Saturday. This one also in the championship bracket, as we await the third-ranked Concordia Stingers taking on the number 2 seed, the Canada West champion, UBC Thunderbirds. Could we see an all-Canada West final and an all-RSEQ bronze medal game, or will it be flipped and we'll see these two conferences battle it out? I've got no skin in the game. I'm excited for it. Alex Cole, thank you for sharing this call with me. Again, tonight's championship semifinal, 3-1 for the Mount Royal Cougars, and they will head on to the gold medal game tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The bronze game at 4:30. I am Daniela Ponticelli on behalf of our entire U Sports on CBC crew and Alex Cole. We will see you soon for the second semifinal coming up. You're watching U Sports on CBC.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.